Let's take a look at what's happening here for a while. What can you see? Do you see light moving across this arrangement? If so, you're seeing exactly what Max Wertheimer saw on a railway signal more than 100 years ago. This is an exhibit of the phi phenomenon. It's an optical illusion in which stationary objects seem to be moving when shown to be appearing and disappearing in quick succession. To you, this might seem like just another one of the funny things our minds do. But Wertheimer decided to look at it closely. He set out to study why our mind does this, and more importantly, how. Along with two assistants, Kurt Kafka and Wolfgang Kohler, he studied this phenomenon, which later paved the way for Gestalt psychology. The German word Gestalt can be inferred as pattern or configuration. One of the fundamental concepts outlined by Gestalt psychology is that our mind tends to perceive an entity as a greater whole rather than its complex individual parts. Let's rewind to the bulbs for a bit. When you saw this arrangement first, you saw how light appeared to be moving across the whole set of bulbs. You did not see each bulb for what it individually was going through. This is exactly what the Gestalt way of seeing is. A mind perceives objects in relation to their environment and other elements. It also recognizes patterns and group-related elements to form simple images. Psychologists and theorists term these as Gestalt principles. These principles have been compared to heuristics, mental shortcuts that our mind uses to make quick connections and decisions. The Gestalt principles include similarity, proximity, common region, continuity, connectedness, closure, symmetry, figure and ground, common fate, and parallelism. Let's take a look at each one of them to see how they work. Similarity. Based on the principle of similarity, objects that look more similar to each other are grouped together in our mind's eye. Proximity. The principle of proximity suggests that we tend to put objects which are close together into a group. When we look at small objects close together, we see a tight group with its own form too. Common region. The common region principle is very similar to proximity. When objects are placed in the same region together, they are seen as a unified group. Continuity. The principle of continuity indicates that we often tend to perceive objects to be part of a continuous line rather than as individual or irregularly arranged elements. Connectedness. Connectedness refers to the way in which objects that are visually connected are often grouped together as one entity. Closure. Closure refers to the tendency of a mind to add in missing information to visuals which might seem to be incomplete at some capacity. Closure enables us to perceive a range of complex arrangements too. Symmetry. The principle of symmetry suggests that the mind tends to view objects that are symmetrical to each other as a group. Figure and ground. The principle of figure and ground implies that we tend to group visual elements to either pop out in the foreground or be pushed back into the background. Common fate. The common fate principle states that objects appearing to move in the same direction can be grouped together as one entity. A common example of this would be the sighting of a flock of birds flying together. This can also be applied to other visuals we might see on a daily basis. Parallelism. Parallelism works on a similar basis. Objects parallel to each other are grouped as one. Now that we have looked at Gestalt principles, it's worth noting that these are extremely useful in the field of design. Since these principles outline how people perceive visuals, they can help one create designs which are better able to connect to viewers in the way they are intended to. Basically, as a designer, using these principles, you get to decide how someone sees your design and what experience that leaves people with. This makes a design that much more wholesome, cohesive, and effective. You can download the PDF of the above information from the link in the description below and log on to our website edge.tqlabs.in for practice questions for your design, fashion, and architecture entrance exams.